Hello and welcome back to the AGF Design Studio channel. My name's Alana, I'm a freelance lettering artist and designer, and in today's video we are going to be talking all about Adobe Fresco version 3.6. This is a huge update. In this video we're going to be looking at things like Magic Wand tool, Liquify abilities, and more edits to motion in Adobe Fresco. Grab your tablet and let's jump in. To kick us off, let's take a look at the Magic Wand tool. So right on your left-hand side, you will see the selection tools. And if you just give that a nice press and hold, you'll see the full list of all the different selection tools that are available in Fresco. So the newest one that we're going to be looking at is the Magic Wand tool. If you're familiar with Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, you already know what the Magic Wand tool does. I'm just going to start making selections. Now, as soon as I selected this area, you'll see the color margin slider that popped up here. So this is a dynamic slider. So what that means is it's going to be able to adjust my selection in real time. So that basically says that I want to sample more colors, not just super close to this yellow color, to make my selection broader. So now that I've increased that, it's given me more of a selection. So I can just keep tapping around and it's just like, okay, that's my selection. I'm satisfied with that. So what can I do with this? For example, I can add a new layer here. I could take my fill tool and let's say I want this to be a new color. So let's say I want to make it purple instead. So on my new layer, I can select within my selection and change the color. Once I'm done, I'm just gonna hit deselect. And now I have a new layer with new color based on the selection from my original layer. So it just gives you more flexibility on how you can select. And then you can sort of get creative and, cut away. Maybe you want to use that as a way to reveal some of the color from underneath from the original layer. We've all been wanting the Magic Wand tool for so long, so I'm super happy that they have now included it in this version. In addition to making selections from a specific layer, you can also switch between layers and make precise selections using the Magic Wand. So let's say, for example, I wanted to select these letters here again, but then I also wanted to change the color of the balloons at the same time. So I can select that layer, make a selection for that balloon, make a selection for this balloon. So now my Magic Wand has information for all three of these areas, even though they're on different layers. And then on a new layer, I can make precise selected edits based on the selection that I made with my Magic Wand. So next, we are going to look at the Liquify tools. So head over to the left-hand side and select that arrow, which is your transform tool. So you'll have your transformation tool like usual if you want to move this around at all. But underneath it now, you have your Liquify tools. So when you touch that, all of these tools come available to you. So let's take a look at them one by one. So this first one is a classic warp tool. Warp is really good for just making, I think of it as a freeform sort of tool. So really just, I want this to look wonky and different and just be able to move everything around and push it as much as I want to. That's really what I see the warp tool being as. Here, for all of these tools, this is where you'll adjust your brush size. So basically, if your brush is really huge, you'll be making very large selections, but let's say you want it to be a little bit more controlled, only to one section, one area. That's how that'll work. Underneath that, you'll see the Reconstruct tool. So as the name suggests, this is meant to restore distortions or reverse distortions that you've added to your piece. So as you can see, this is already becoming legible again just by gliding over. So maybe you went too far with your edit. You can use the reconstruct tool to fix it up again. So now I can read this again and I'm starting to get more of the lettering back. So maybe you've gone too far. Don't worry, they have a tool for that. It's the reconstruct tool. So next we have the smooth tool. Very similar to reconstruct. This is basically just going to straighten us out and pretty much get us to as close or as far from your original warp as you want. I could keep this sort of looking sort of funny and sort of like the letters are thrown together or sort of coming towards me. Next, we have one of my personal favorites, twirl. So just as it sounds, let's take a look. So without even moving my Apple Pencil at all, I can focus these points and the twirl liquify will happen right around the point that I am applying pressure to. Now you can move your Apple Pencil or your stylus around as well, but this is one of those tools where you can make those pinpoint edits and get some pretty cool effects. So twirl is definitely one of my personal favorites. Next, we are going to look at the pucker tool. So similar to twirl, wherever I apply my pressure, you'll see it almost sucking inward and puckering. So again, this is without moving my brush at all. This is just pressing and holding down. And I'm getting a really cool pucker effect. So I can make some of my letters look like they're floating further away from letters that are closer. So yeah, really cool tool. Again, you can move it around, but if you want a really nice, intense effect, just zero in on any one point and it'll pucker it for you. Similar to pucker, you have bloat. So basically, this is the opposite idea of what pucker does. Pinpoint on any area and it's going to expand and get larger around that point that you're focusing on. Last but not least, push left. I know it's called push left, but feel free to just drag your stylus across your screen and really get these interesting effects. Things sort of elongate, they move, and they shift around. They don't really twirl with this effect. So this one is fun to sort of just experiment. And if at any point you are confused or you're not sure what each one does, they've already thought of that. So you can go right here to your icon for brush tool settings and you can test out in this little window what each one of these things does. So you can kind of get a sense of what the tool does and what kind of effects that you can expect from each one. You can also adjust these other sliders at the bottom. Your pressure is going to adjust the distortion speed, but I think maybe twirl does, rate. So that's going to be the speed at which distortions are applied when the tool is stationary. So twirl, for example, that goes pretty fast when I have rate set all the way to 100, but if it was a lot lower, it would twirl a lot slower. So yeah, Liquify is here, have fun with it, super cool, and super exciting to see it finally land in Adobe Fresco. All right, it's time to set things in motion. That is my segue for looking at the updates to motion in Adobe Fresco. So the first one we're going to be looking at is opacity control updates in Adobe Fresco for motion. So I'm just going to apply motion to this layer by hitting this little icon in the bottom right-hand corner. My timeline sequence will pop up at the bottom. So now whenever you tap any of your frames, you will now have access to this frame opacity slider at the top. So by default, it's set to 100%, but you can now adjust this to anything in between just by sliding back and forth. How would you use that effect? What this allows you to do is have individual opacities for each frame of your motion animation. Prior to this update, any opacity adjustments that would be made to one frame would automatically apply to all other frames. So now you can use this to create a fun, let's say, fade in effect. So let's see how that would look. So I'm going to start with this frame at 0% opacity. And let's just add a few frames in between here. I'm just hitting duplicate frame a few times. So now, with the option of controlled opacity for each frame, you can have like these cool fade in or fade out effects if you do it in the reverse way in Adobe Fresco, which is super nice to see because whenever you can have more control over your motion frames and the edits that you make to them, it makes the experience a lot more enjoyable and customizable. If you're at all interested in learning more about motion, I have a whole tutorial about using motion and animation in Adobe Fresco, which I will link in the description box below. All right, continue with another update that we're seeing in motion is transform motion paths. In previous updates, we've seen that we had the ability to make transformation to motion frames. Well, now we can make transformations to both motion paths and frames. So let's take a look at what that would look like. Going to my motion icon again. So I'm going to start by tapping path. And then on my screen, I'm just going to draw a little path for my balloon to follow. It's a little squiggle path, so it'll just descend down slowly along my line and then start back from the top again. So I'm going to duplicate my frame and then I'm going to hit my transform tool. This window will pop up and basically ask you the transformation that you're about to make. Do you want it to apply to this singular frame? Do you want it to apply to all of your frames or to all of your frames and your motion paths, which is where we see that update, right? Because before it was either individual frames or all of your frames, but it wouldn't do the effects to transformations for motion paths. So let's hit frame. I'm going to make this a little smaller. So now we can see growing and shrinking, sort of blinking, I guess. But let's say, duplicate my frame again, and I want to make another transformation. So now I can select all frames and motion paths, transform. So let's say I now want it to lean a little bit to the left, and I want this change to be made to this frame and to all of my other frames. So this is going to apply to the way that it travels down my motion path and the way that it is oriented on all my other frames. I'm gonna hit done, and I hit play all. So now you can see it's still doing that blinking, but now it's leaning a little bit to the left because of that latest transformation that I just made. So with this update, we have full customization over how we can have our objects transform while we're applying motion paths and frame by frame animation. Pretty awesome. Just before this larger update, Adobe Fresco has introduced new vector brushes that can now be found under the vector brush under the manga category. So there are 3 new vector brushes there for us to use and to try out. So I highly suggest checking those out. And actually this even just looks pretty cool, even just with my design here. So check those out. Also, Kyle T. Webster has released his Spring 2022 brush pack, which is available for instant download in Adobe Fresco. So just head over to your pixel brushes and hit the Add Brushes icon. You can hit Discover New Brushes, and Spring 2022 brushes are ready to be added in. So if they're not already downloaded, just tap Add, and that's all you have to do. And then you can just find it here under your library brushes, under Spring 2022. So many beautiful brushes. I mean, he's always doing such a great job creating these brushes for everyone to use. These can be used in Adobe Fresco and Photoshop. They just have like a lot of nice, really cool effects to them that I'm sure you don't want to miss out on, so be sure to check them out. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions in a comment down below. Want more Adobe Fresco tutorials? Let me know what you want to see. And in the meantime, check out my Adobe Fresco tutorials playlist. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.